Good morning, students. Today we are going to read the livestock farming in the topic of agriculture and livestock in the subject of geography O levels. So concentrate yourself. Here we are going to start. Livestock farming. Rearing animals is an old and essential component of the rural setup. Like agriculture, livestock farming also works as a system with inputs, processes, and outputs. So this is an industry. So the things are again required as an industry. Inputs are required, then some processes will be carried out, and finally the output will be obtained. Consist of the subsistence and commercial types. So livestock farming is done on the commercial basis to earn the profit. At the same time, this is done on the subsistence basis to meet the family needs. In subsistence farming, animals are reared in order to be consumed by the poor owners. Their meat, their milk, and different things, for example, cow dung, are used for the fuel. So these are on the subsistence farming. The livestock farming is done on the basis to meet the meet the needs of the family. In commercial types, animals are kept with the objective of selling them, and their products, milk, meat, hides, etc., are sold for earning the profit. Subsistence livestock farming consists of three subtypes. Number one is nomadic, that is wandering. Pastoral, nomadic farming. So nomadic stands for wandering. So the people go from one place to another according to the climatic conditions, according to the family requirements. So look now, nomadic and pastoral nomadic farming practiced by nomadic families that keep moving along with their flocks of animals in search of the food and water. Usually they rear goats, sheep, and camels on subsistence scale. So this is done on the subsistence scale, not on the commercial scale, because they are having very few numbers of the animals. They get meat and milk from goats and sheep, while camels carry their load during their journey from one pastoral area to another. Practiced by nomadic families in Balochistan and the desert areas of the Sindh and Punjab, Thar and Cholistan. So these are the areas which are famous for the nomadic tribes. Their stay in the pastoral area. Pastoral area is a rural area where the primary economic activity is livestock grazing and native pastures and shrubs. So their stay in the pastoral area ranges from weeks to months. So depends on the condition of the weather and depends on the availability of the food. The next type that we are going to read in the subsistence livestock farming is transhumance. Transhumance stands for seasonal movement of the livestock, such as sheep, between mountain in summer and low-lying pasture areas in the winter. So the tribes go to mountains in summer because in low-lying area the weather is hot, so they go to the mountain in summer and come to the lowland pastures in winter. Seasonal transfer of the livestock and their owners between highland and lowland pastures. Goats, sheep, and cattle are reared high up in the mountains during summers and then brought down to the lowland pastures in valleys in the winter. In very low winter temperatures in the lowland pastures, the animals are kept under the sheds to save them from the high temperature or the low temperature. Mainly practiced in the northern mountains and at places in the western mountains. In addition to the cattle, goats and sheep, yak and dazu are also reared in the Karakoram and the Himalayas. These animals provide their transhuman farmers wool, meat, and dairy products like milk, butter, and yogurt. The next type in the subsistence livestock farming is settled livestock farming, practiced by the rural communities of the Sindh and Punjab on subsistence scale. Cattle, Buffaloes and hens are kept for obtaining meat, milk, and eggs. Excess milk is processed to make yogurt, butter, or ghee that are major components of the diet of the farmers. Occasionally, wool or meat is sold in the market to buy more animals and other articles of the daily life, but this is very rare because they are having very small number of the animals. So seldomly, when they get surplus amount of the milk or the wool, so they sell them into the market to meet their further expenses or to pay off their loans or to purchase the more animals. Subsistence livestock farming is operated as a system with well-defined inputs, processes, and outputs. Inputs are mostly natural, open grazing fields and water from the ponds, with some forms of the human inputs like the human labor. Processes include natural breeding, feeding, and the slaughtering, whereas the outputs are milk, meat, wool, and eggs. The next thing that we are going to read is the livestock farming on a commercial scale, practiced either on the small scale by private owners of a commercial farm or on large scale by the government owned or military farms. Most of the privately owned farms are established in small to medium sized vacant plots within the city limits. For example, those in the Buffalo colony of the Karachi or in the suburbs of the large and small towns. They often lack proper water supply or drainage facilities because these are not backed up by the government. These are done by the private owners, so they are often facing lack of proper water supply or drainage facilities, and water is brought from the nearby ponds or the streams. Water is brought from the nearest crop growing area. Cattle dung is a valuable byproduct that is sold in the form of the dried circular cakes to be used as natural manure or domestic fuel by the poor families. On the modern livestock farms in Islamabad, Karachi, Lahore, and Quetta, modern scientific methods and inputs are availed. For example, scientific breeding methods, specially designed feeding stalls, early weaning diets and growth hormones, better veterinary care, and electric milking machines. So these are the modern techniques which are used in the modern farms in the modern city, in the well-developed cities. Outputs on the modern farms are the same as those of the small scale traditional farms, but more profitable and of better quality. So in the bigger farms, profit is more because they are able to keep more animals. They include meat, wool, eggs, hides, and dairy products. Milk, yogurt, butter, and cheese are obtained as the output. Here we are going to read the importance of the livestock provides means of the survival to the poor farmers and profits to the rich farmers. Draft animals act as means of the transport and help in the various processes like plowing, harvesting, threshing, and providing manure. These animals provide important food items including meat, milk and eggs. Hides and the skins are raw materials for the leather industry. Eggs and chicken meat are rich source of the animal protein. Kettles. Cattle dung is used as manure as well as a source of the cheap domestic fuel and construction material for the mud-built houses. So this is the importance of the livestock farming. Next, we are going to read the problems of the livestock farming. High prices of the inputs, for example, feed. So this is the big problem for the people of Pakistan now because inflation is on the high now. Insufficient veterinary care and the prevalence of the primitive farming methods, lack of the grazing fields, and the problems of the soil erosion as a result of grazing in unirrigated fields, unhygienic conditions for animals, insufficient breeding and crossbreeding, poor storage facilities are the problems, poor marketing arrangements, and neglect of the rural livestock sector. So these are the problems. These are facing by the livestock farming. So this was the lecture, students. I hope so this will be much more easier for you to understand now. So read this lecture again, understand it, learn it, and make your notes. Thank you so much.